very happy to be announcing $17 billion worth of deals that are coming to the United States, and this is real. This isn't.
It's real money.
These aren't fake deals. These are real deals.
They don't have to borrow the money.
We don't have to borrow it. It's coming in, and it only builds upon a legacy that we're very proud of. We have had a relationship in the civil side between our two countries since 1893, and formally since 1948. So may it long continue, and we look forward to many, many more years of productive partnership. Thank you, Mr. President.
We will have
you honor us.
President Trump welcoming the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Bahrain to the White House today, announcing that $17 billion in deals is coming to the United States. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today on Spin Room. I'm Vanessa Broussard. The president also wrapping up a bill signing ceremony where he signed the HALT Fentanyl Act into law that happened just moments ago. Here's more from the president.
We strike a righteous blow to the drug dealers, narcotic traffickers, and criminal cartels that we've all been hearing so much about for so many years, and very little has been done. And we take a historic step toward justice for every family touched by the fentanyl scourge as we sign the HALT Fentanyl Act into law. Good job. Good job. Well done. Well done.
Fentanyl, as you know, is a powerful synthetic opioid and has caused an overdose crisis in the United States. Fentanyl deaths have more than doubled in recent years. 70% of drug overdoses come from fentanyl. Well, a mother whose son had vaccine-induced autism is joining us on the show today. Tracy Slepcevic, welcome to Spin Room. So happy to see that you have healed your son of autism. I know this is a big epidemic that's going on right now. What do you want parents to know? What can you tell us?
Hi, Vanessa. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited that it is very clear that it's an epidemic now. Now, as before, oh, it's genetic, it's this, it's that, but there's so many exciting things coming, especially with, Bobby as Secretary of Health and Human Services. And more things are coming to light about vaccinations and the safety and efficacy of vaccines. Now, I'm not you're telling everybody don't vaccinate. I think everybody should be at choice, but there should be complete transparency and there should be informed consent. So people should know what's going into their bodies. And if they actually and truly did know what was in a vaccine, I think they would decide against it.
So how did you know about your son? There's so many parents out there who struggle with this. They want to know if their child is vaccine-induced autistic, and they see the signs after a vaccination, and they might get flack from a doctor. Did you have blood tests done? How did you find out?
It was a long, hard road, I have to be honest with you. So Noah did get measles from the measles vaccine, and then I saw a severe regression after that. He was sick for about 3 weeks, and he had bumps all over his body. I was told that it was an allergic reaction from an ingredient in the vaccines. And from there, after about 3 or 4 months, when Noah started losing his speech and his motor skills and some cognitive function, I asked the pediatrician, I said, my kid's regressing. Can you tell me what's going on? And she said, oh, that's normal. They regress before they progress. Now, I'm here to tell you as a parent, it is not normal. So how I found out, God sends me angels all the time. And I was at my wit's end. Noah was 3 years old. He had been through 2 preschools, an evaluation at Harbor Regional Center where they lost his paperwork. And nobody would tell me, and a pediatrician who said, he's fine, he doesn't have autism, he just needs some speech therapy. And I really was just, ready to lose it. And I walked into the office one day, and my husband had hired a new front desk woman, and she had a son with autism. And I asked her, so many questions. And she asked me like a laundry list of questions. And she said, your son is now 3, so you should go and have him evaluated through the school district. And so I called Launch Preschool and asked for an evaluation. So they first did a phone evaluation, and then they said, yes, we do agree that your son needs a full evaluation, not just for speech. And so we went in, they did a very thorough job. They were lifesavers. And from there, they all met, they checked all his motor skills, his speech, his strength, his coordination. It was a very thorough exam. And then they came in and they told us, I'm sorry, but we do find that Noah is autistic-like. Because they are a school district, they cannot diagnose formally. So I took that report, I went back to Harbor Regional Center, and I had Noah formally diagnosed by a clinical psychologist. But before that, as I already had answers from the school district, I was headed back to the office, and adjacent to our office was my naturopathic doctor. And he was walking down the hallway, and I'm crying. And Dr. Burka looked at me, and he's like, what's the matter? And I said, well, my son was diagnosed with autism. And he looks at me and he said, Noah's going to be fine. He said, you need to go home and you need to do your work. He said, because kids are making great strides with biomedical intervention. Now, at the time, this was 2008, I had no idea what biomedical intervention was. But I literally sucked the tears back up into my eyes and ran home and got to work. And so we started cleaning out the gut, cleaning up his diet, real food only. We found a great functional medicine doctor. She ran every test you possibly could on a kid with autism: urine, fecal, blood tests, genetic testing to test for MTHFR, so many different things. And from there, we had a game plan. And, that's where it all began. But it was a long road of, a good couple of years of trying to figure out what was wrong with my kid.
And how long was it before you saw that switch where he was starting to progress? So you start this intervention, you start a healthy diet, you start cleansing the gut. I know there's a lot of vitamins out there for that. How long was it before you saw some progression?
So before I met with the functional medicine doctor, I actually, just from reading a whole bunch of books, I had already started gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. And Noah started putting 2 words together, and so he was starting to string words together. Physically, we weren't quite there yet, but this was just a few months before I had met with the doctor. Then I met with the doctor, and we also, after, getting his test results back, eliminated sugar because he was full of yeast. And so me and Noah went on this beautiful journey of eating clean, real food. If you can pick it, pluck it, grow it, skin it, you can eat it. So not only did I heal my son, but on the other hand, I healed myself, and I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I have my own vaccine injuries because I was in the military. So I started getting chronic migraines, polycystic ovarian syndrome, endometriosis, joint pain, muscle pain, thyroid issues. I mean, you name it. I gave you part of the list.
That's amazing and so good for you. And I'm so glad you're able to share your story, because parents out there watching right now, they can learn from this. And as can I. I'm a mother of a small child, and so we want them to have what's best for them. Now, just this week, Tracy, Johnson & Johnson's lead scientist comes out saying the COVID-19 vaccine was not safe and effective, that is, and there was a lack of research. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, there have been many scientists and doctors that have come out and, been whistleblowers from working for pharmaceutical companies. And I think now that we have a new administration, people are now starting to listen. But this isn't anything new. The safety and efficacy of vaccines has been exposed for a long time now. Now, we started with, when Dr. Andrew Wakefield did the documentary Vaxxed and Vax 2, and now they just came out with Vax 3. And then you have, so many other scientists that came about, Stephen Crawling. So Andy Wakefield did a film called Protocol 7, and it was about, the virologist that exposed what was going on, how the data was skewed. And, he was silenced. So many of these doctors and scientists have been silenced. And, it's so wonderful that now so much has come to light with COVID. And you have to be truly blind to not see people dropping dead like flies, especially within that year of getting, the COVID vaccine release. And now you have small children or just young kids having cardiac arrests and people dying of rare cancers. So you got to just kind of open your eyes. I don't watch the news a lot, and I can see what's going on. It's just very clear and very evident. But this isn't the first scientist that stepped out onto the platform, to be a whistleblower. There are many over the years.
And we can't normalize this, Tracy, because they want us to normalize it. But you look at the autism rates that are growing and growing. And like you mentioned, kids who are having health issues now because of the vaccine. It's not normal and it's not okay. And we have to protect our babies. Just going back, I want to remind everyone, I want to go back in time, remind the audience how we were promised the vaccines were safe. Take a look at this.
Down. It's safe.
And they're safe and they're highly effective.
They're safe and effective.
They're safe. Safe.
Extraordinarily safe.
It's safe. It's the right thing to do. It's good for you.
We have an extraordinary safety profile, probably unlike any we've seen with any vaccine in history.
To everyone in the entire world.
All Canadians to be vaccinated.
As much as we can, as fast as we can.
We can reasonably quickly get to the herd immunity.
How could it be, right, that you'd have a product where you can't be sued for harm, you got a guaranteed market, they promote the product for you. It sounds unreal. So, and it should be unreal. It shouldn't exist. And the only product it exists for like this is for vaccines.
Watch the film on our website, and don't forget to share this clip.
All right, Tracy, your reaction. That's what we were being told when COVID was happening around the world.
And the crazy thing is, soon as it all came out, I just saw it. I mean, I have already been on this bandwagon since 2008. So I know what's going on. And my husband and I knew what was coming down the pipeline. And it was, number one, it was all about how can we protect our family and our loved ones. And our first thought was they're going to roll out a new vaccine. That's the whole purpose of this, because wearing a mask on your face is absolutely ridiculous. So I did industrial hygiene and environmental protection when I was in the Air Force, and it was my job to prescribe the proper PPE in a workplace for people. And a mask does nothing. So putting paper on your face, so those surgical masks are designed for sterile environments, and they are switched out actually quite often when a doctor is having surgery. And if I cough, your eyes can absorb a virus. So none of it protects you. If you have a seal around your face, a good solid seal, then yes. And you have a HEPA filter, and you have to make sure you have the proper filters for what's out there, then yeah, it could protect you. Absolutely. I think day one, me and my husband went to the grocery store and we were wearing full face respirators. Everyone's wearing a paper mask and they're laughing at us. And I'm like, you can laugh all you want. I'm protected, you're not. But really boosting the immune system. So they talk about herd immunity. I mean, that's an absolute joke. Herd immunity is really, you just, remember the chickenpox parties? Our parents would be like, go play with the other kids so you can get chickenpox and get it over with. And I got measles, I got chickenpox, I got everything when I was a kid. There was no go get a vaccine for it. I mean, there was the bare minimum back then, but even that, I truly feel caused damage. You have polio that is named a million different other disorders and diseases. Just because they don't name it polio because somebody's in a wheelchair and they can't walk or they've lost motor skills or function, doesn't mean it's not polio. They just renamed it many other things. And the only polio cases in the United States since the 70s is vaccine-induced polio. So, I mean, people don't look at that. They're like, oh, well, the vaccine saved the world. It didn't. Actually, polio was starting to be eradicated by cleaning up the waters. That was the problem, was drinking dirty water. So once they started to clean up the waters, people started to get better. They weren't getting sick anymore. And then they're like, ooh, let's implement a vaccine. And this is just where it all started. All the brainwashing, all the poison, everything. And then you move into the 80s and then you get the Vaccine Act of 1986 and, no vaccine manufacturer is held responsible for vaccine injury. And, it just keeps coming and coming. So and people don't realize it's not 1 in 31 kids have autism. That is only 8-year-olds. Most kids that are diagnosed with autism are usually right around the ages of between 2 and 5. So where are all those kids between 2 and 5 that have autism? Because those are most of the children. So how about we do a study of kids between the ages of 2 and 17? And see what the real number is, of kids with autism, but they won't do it.
You're absolutely right, and it's a scare out there, but your story is inspiring. You helped save your son. You saved your son, and I'm a mother and worry about the shots as well. We only have about 15 seconds left. You're very wonderful, very inspiring. I want people to follow you. How can they follow you online?
So my name is easy, Tracy Slepcevic. I'm the only one out there. I'm on all social media, and I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I think for Instagram, it's Autism Author Mama, but they can go to warriormom.com or autismhealth.com. We are doing an autism walk September 6th, and it is a hybrid nationwide autism walk if anybody wants to join. And so any information, they can go to autismhealth, HEALTH.com, or reach out to me at warriormom.com.
Very proud of you. Again, very inspiring. Thank you so much for coming on today, and we'll be checking back in with you. Love hearing your story.
Thanks for having me. God bless.
And when we come back, Marjorie Taylor Greene has had it with weather modifications. The bill she has now introduced so people will stop messing with Mother Nature. That's next.
Friends, we all know the truth. Big Pharma and the federal bureaucracy have made a mess of healthcare in this country, and boy, that's an understatement. President Trump signed an executive order to bring prices down, and that's a great step. But we know that real change takes time. There's one pharmacy that is already stepping up. I want to tell you about All Family Pharmacy. They're not waiting. They're taking action now with a summer sale that gives you the power to take control of your health. Right now, through the end of June, you get 20% off site-wide, no insurance required. Did you hear that? 20% off, site-wide, no insurance required. They work with licensed doctors in all 50 states, and they ship fast, straight to your door. Whether it's ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, methylene blue, antibiotics, emergency kits, or your daily prescriptions, this is a time to stock up. If you believe in medical freedom, if you're tired of waiting for someone else to fix things, do what I do. Take action. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell and use promo code Lindell20, Lindell 20 for 20% off your entire order. That's allfamilypharmacy.com Lindell. Promo code Lindell20. Let's protect our families, defend our freedom, and make America healthy again together.
With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Airwater Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal bronchitis, or just want to protect your family from the flu or even greater threats, don't wait to get your V3 from airwaterhealing.com today. Use code Lindell for 20% off in savings and free shipping. That's promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com.
Welcome back to Spin Room. Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has introduced the Clear Skies Act. That's an effort to ban geoengineering and weather modification. Take a listen.
Skies Act has been filed. This is my legislation to ban weather modification and geoengineering of all kinds. Finally, we can really take the fight in Washington to protect our skies, protect our water, protect our atmospheres, and most of all, protect our families. Thanks for your support, everyone. Look for my legislation, the Clear Skies Act.
MTG says no more spraying chemicals in our skies and that it's time to end this dangerous and unregulated practice. Now taking a look at inflation numbers. The Trump camp saying core inflation has beat or matched expectations since he took office in January. Biden-induced prices hikes. Those hikes are now coming down. So here's a breakdown for you. Core inflation beat expectations for another month. Since President Trump took office, core inflation has tracked at just 2.1%, levels not seen since the first Trump administration. Wage growth remains strong. Real wages for production and non-supervisory workers are up 1.3% over the last year. Also, prices for everyday Americans continue to fall. Prices for new and used vehicles, airfares are falling. That fell last month big time. You'll also notice prices for gas, fuel oil, energy commodities, hotels, airfare, public transportation, and fresh vegetables all down over the last year. So good numbers to report to you there. Moving over to the stock market now while we are on the topic of numbers, looking at MarketWatch.com, the Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ closing out the day with 187 up for Dow, the S&P 500 up 18 points, and the NASDAQ closing out the day with just over 56 points, all in the green today. Love to see it. And with more on the market, here's Mike Lindell and Carlos Cortez.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lindell TV. And here we have our greatest sponsor, Carlos Cortez, the founder of AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com And Carlos, it's great to have you back on the show here. I want to talk to you about a lot of things, but I just want everybody to, right now, you guys go to AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com or call 833-813-3446. Operators are standing by, and you might want to get on there before the big crowd jumps on. But I know a lot of you have been waiting to hear some more about what's going on out there with our footprint of our economy and everything. And Carlos, great to have you back on again. And I can't thank you enough. From Lindell TV, you guys were just exploding. By the way, everybody, we're publicly traded at on the OTC markets. We talked to Carlos last week or a couple weeks about it. MLMC is the stock symbols. MLMC. Carlos, did you know that here at Lindell TV we almost tripled in stock, went from 84 cents up to the high twos in like a short week here. I think a lot
congratulations.
of that was.
I owe you a market update on that. I wanted to get you a 5-minute market update. So count on me on doing that for you. I'll send it to you, Mike. And I apologize. I just been 4th of July hanging out with the kids, just enjoying America's birthday and putting business to the side. And you know, I'm a father and a husband and a hockey dad. It's sometimes business is bottom on the list to me sometimes. So
Well,
yeah.
that hockey dad part. I used to play hockey when I was a kid, so I know all about that.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, a lot of work,
Being
a lot
in
of work
Minnesota,
and
you
time
do.
goes into that. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But I'll give everybody an update, and we'll wait for Carlos's update next week. But on the MLMC, the stock symbol, Lindell TV, I believe the big push was I was out in visiting our great president out at the White House last week. And I was there for 2 days, and everybody knowing here on Lindell TV, all afternoon, we have what other networks don't have. We have a White House correspondent, and we have another correspondent at the Capitol. And Allison and Kara do a great job, and they're the ones getting all the questions. Carlos, when I was there, they were going, I had different networks coming up to me, you know, as I didn't spend all my time inside the White House. I like to be out there with the media, you know, and I'm out there, they're going, you guys are getting all the attention. You're getting all the attention. Some of it was good comments and some of it was pretty upset with Lindell TV actually getting a fair shake and other networks too that you've never heard about or that were the smaller ones with the established media out there that it's no more. We need to, you know, our voice needs to get bigger and spread the word, and it's working, everybody. So if you want to be a part of that, Lindell TV, go to OTC, go to your stock market. MLMC is the call there. Carlos, since we talked, the stock market, all-time high. What's going on? What do you make of that? Are you concerned I feel it's just going to keep going up, but you're the expert. What do you see happening? I know we're in an anomaly in history. Things can change on a dime. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you bringing me on, Mike. And it's so the first and most important thing is talking about the emotional trading cycle. We start with optimism, and then we get euphoric. And then there's a little bit of denial, and then there's like depression sitting in, and then you're defeated, and then you come back right back to optimism. And once you hit that defeated button, when you're down in the dumps and the market's down, that's really when you should be buying. America's not going anywhere, guys. Like, get it out of your head. There's this huge lie about conspiracy theory and a quantum financial system and this great reset, and it's gotten God-fearing patriots that are supposed to love the cross, by the way, completely anti 2 Timothy 1:7. Like, it is completely based on fear. And so when we go into these markets, going into unknowns, we have fear, uncertainty, and doubt running all of America. Like the Epstein files, Trump was talking about, hey, why are you talking about the Epstein files when we have floods, when we have a war going on? You're still talking about this idiot. And it's the same thing with your finances. Like, why are we talking about inflation when we should be worrying about how secure our retirement is? Like, we need to do our own homework. And so my clients, they've done their homework, and they almost, like in a not a cocky way, but in a confident way, they kind of laugh at all the media. I mean, look, I can't see because my glasses are off, but the S&P 500 is up about 5.85. The Dow is up literally over 4% year to date, by the way. NASDAQ is up about 5.74. We went through a lot of volatility, and we now just created that V to get over break even. And yes, the markets are going up. Everything is bullish. Everything's great. Tariffs are working in our favor. We do have some problems with the Fed coming out August 22nd here shortly with that second GDP number. That's going to be huge. My guess, it might be negative. And if it is negative, then we will have a full-blown recession. What's interesting today is JP Morgan Chase just announced that they reclaim their prediction of a recession for 2025. But I argue, hey, there's a lot of problems still in the banking sector. There's a lot of problems in not lowering these interest rates, because if we don't lower these interest rates, we will definitely have a recession. But if we lower the interest rate,
explain that. If that would happen, explain that. Why is that? It's not a guarantee, but why do you think it would be, based on all your experience, when you have shipping prices coming down, gas is getting at a 4 or 5 year low, stock market is high. I mean, why do we need that interest rate lowered to avoid a recession in your mind?
yeah, if we can get the interest rates lower, what's going to happen is the consumer gets more confident. So the consumers, they could buy.
So this is about, right.
Yeah, this is about.
So this is about consumer confidence. This is about consumer confidence, which everybody, I told you all about that, everybody. If you go back to December of 2019, I believe that month was the highest consumer confidence month in history. Donald Trump had built that up to December of 2019. Of course, what came right after that? The China virus. But I always bring people back to that consumer confidence, and to get to that point. And I see what you're saying. Even though with the high markets and people see, they see gas coming down out there, they don't necessarily see shipping prices coming down because they haven't followed the gas prices yet. I know this because of my pillow. I know that they're still high, and they should be coming down, which would bring all your prices down, because everything is shipped. Everything is affected by shipping. But absolutely. I think people, what you're saying is, with that Fed, if they come out and they don't lower that, people are still in somewhat of a hesitant factor. Their confidence isn't all the way there, because we're living in a deviation of anomaly in history. No one's ever gone where we've gone before in many different aspects, correct?
Yes, and so what happens, like a byproduct of all this, is the banks start failing little by little. Like in 2013, we had a boatload. 2009, everybody talks about 2008, but actually 2009, we had over 114 banks by the FDIC that was closed. And if banks do not get deposits going in, if businesses are not profitable, the small business America, what our troops fought for, the spirit of enterprise, if our businesses are not profitable, there are no deposits in the banks. Once you affect the banking markets, we have a banking crisis. We have a liquidity crisis that is already on a cusp of commercial real estate with COVID. Still, the hybrid model. People don't want to go to work anymore. All these companies bought billions and billions of dollars of real estate, and now they're sitting underwater on them because their employees are working from home. So there's a lot of underlying issues that really scare me as that we need to address.
You bring up a good point, and so lower the interest rate will help, and that, and also I know what Carlos just said there, everybody. This is something that I didn't know he was going to bring up, but I'm affected by this. My pillow in Minnesota. We are going to consolidate with one of our buildings. We're in an office building, and there's no market out there for it right now. And the reason is because everybody's working from home since the China virus. And and I can say China virus on this show, everybody, because we got Lindell TV here. We say we can speak that out. That's where it came from. But since that, Carlos, that, in Minnesota, where I'm from there, they, like downtown, I mean, there's so many empty office spaces because people were allowed to work from home. Look what our president did with the federal workers right when he got in, said, hey, you got to start working from your office, like, come into work, right? And so I understand that. That's a big thing. I want to pivot a little bit. So everybody, go to AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com right now, or call 833-813-3446. The financial advice, I mean, what do they get there? They're getting free advice right out of the gate, right? They don't, or what do they? What follow the customer? What do they get from you, Carlos? If they put your footprint up, if they want to go in deeper, and you give them your financial planner, basically, correct?
Yes. Yes. So I can't give financial advice on an interview or on public TV or podcast. However, we can give investment and retirement planning advice when they call individually. Basically, when they do call, there's no charge to have a consultation. And then what we do is we're going to give you a second opinion. If you currently have an advisor, we're going to ask, like, what's your risk tolerance? Like, what is your risk score? A lot of clients don't even know what their standard deviation is, which is pretty scary because your advisor should know and absolutely tell you. And then we're going to ask, basically, do you know your colors of money? How much money do you have principal protected? How much money do you want in the market? How much money do you want in values-based investments? Like, what are you funding? Are you funding the LGBT community? Are you funding abortion? Are you funding the things that go against your beliefs that is anti-American or pro-CBDC? So there's a lot of laundry work that we go through.
Right. That's another good point that gets brought up. That's why we have Carlos on, everybody. We can learn. That's another thing right there. Where Carlos is different, other financial planners out there, other financial advisors, one of the things he's looked into, when you're talking Christian, conservative, you're talking about where are we putting our money? If you're putting money over here, is it supporting bad things? And this just came up with myself yesterday, and I'm not going to name the company, but in order for me to get this contract, I had to go through this company, and I said no. This is my own moral compass. I prayed about it, and I got a complete no. I'm not doing it. Now, did it cost money? Yeah, but it wasn't, for me, it's not it goes against my morals, what they stood for. So that's a big thing, everybody. And I want to add, I'm going to widen your filter, Carlos, here for you. I'm going to widen your audience, okay? When you go to AmericanFirstRetirementPlan.com, everybody, it doesn't mean you have to be retired, okay? I don't plan on retiring, okay? I still need financial planning because I could sit here and do all these guesses, everybody, but you just heard from Carlos, another aspect is I want to know where my investments are going. I want to know where my money's going. I want to know, is it better to put it here, here, and here? But also there's other factors that you didn't have before. We're in a spiritual battle of epic proportions of evil and good. And just to know that you vetted that, Carlos. And I can tell you're right over target because I've watched you get attacked yourself. I watched this from afar going, well, they're attacking Carlos. The evil is out there because they don't want him diverting people's resources to good things. I seen that just last week. How about you? And you guys, you can go ahead and text me and email other things of any problems you have out there. And I answered these people. And I said, you know what? Carlos is right over target. He's a great man. He's a great financial advisor, and we just expand that. I want to tell everybody, I go back to that retirement thing. You don't have to be retired or even planning to be retired. This expands the filter out there, you guys. You need to know. I don't care how old you are, if you plan on retiring or not. If you got money and you've got it, and you want to be secure, let's put it that way. I think everybody wants security right now. You can call it driven by fear, whatever, but I think just being secure is to be able to feel secure in these turbulent times we're in, these anomalies we're in, is everything, isn't it, Carlos?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the head. It's it's just a matter of having a relationship with your advisor more than what you used to. It's not your mom and dad's advisor's environment anymore. You need to be aligned with your advisor spiritually, mentally, politically, now medically, and honestly financially. And it's just, we have a huge waiting list for many months now since COVID. We're being very selective on who we bring on because we just don't want to bring people on that don't love the cross and don't love America. And so it's it's great to be on this platform because all of our listeners fit that bill. And it's just important to have an advisor that agrees with what you believe in, because if they don't understand you, then they're going to invest in things that you don't understand and things that go against your moral compass.
Yeah, absolutely. And did you hear that, everybody? Carlos just said another thing that you all need to really listen up. It's not your mom or your dad's financial advisor back in the day. I had a financial financial advisor back in the day for years, and he was actually a friend of mine. But I did have that friendly relationship, but it was a lot simpler back then because things were stable out there, and we didn't have this division and all these things going on. And you might have maybe there's I don't know, a stock market something that's going on, or I think it was very simple silos, and you could either say, hey, I want to be a little risky. My financial advisor back then was, to me was, Mike, you take too many risks. I know, but that's who I was, and that's who I am. I'm willing to take a risk, but he knew that, but he also was trying to get me to be somewhat conservative because he knew me.
Right.
But even back then, the financial advisor, I really think that relationship is important, but it was a lot simpler back then. There's now that financial advisors, and I'll tell you people that the ones that are out there are not going to sort through where you're putting your money. A lot of financial advisors, just go put your money over here. We don't care if it's the most evil company on planet Earth.
That's correct.
This is something that every one of you out there should be listening to this part. It's so important. And so I would encourage everyone, go to AmericanFirstRetirementPlan.com. You have everything to gain. It's free just to check it out, or call 833-813-3446. The number's on there. And you tell them I sent you. I mean, I don't get behind it. Let me tell you, I don't get behind everything out there. I don't. For years, my pillow was it. And now at Lindell TV, we're expanding. We need other sponsors. And not only is the money, they're helping out Lindell TV as a sponsor. Carlos puts a lot of funding into Lindell TV here, and we thank him so much for that too. You guys, this is about where you're going to put your investments, and by investing, it's a win-win-win. That's what I want to say. You're helping Lindell TV. You're helping spread the word. You're helping this great financial advisor and team that I have personally vetted. They're second to none. Every time I learn more, I'm going, wow. I'm going, Carlos, I don't even know you. You mean you do that too? It's like this is great because it's everything a person wanted. Where you would ask, hey, here's a financial advisor. I'll bet you don't do that. Yes, we do. I'll bet you don't do that. Yes, we do. So if you're watching right now and you're not, and there's a question out there that you have of why you would not call when it's free to check it out and get that first consultation. And I encourage everyone to do that. Carlos, I guess that, I want to have you on again, but is there anything you would say to people right now? I guess you kind of did with the thing. We're looking at August, but regardless of what happens there, looking at a person's footprint and treating every customer like your only customer, that's huge to me. That's, that meant a lot to me when I was vetting you. Do you see, and I'll tell you what, your clients that you have, and the people that are out there that you've helped, I haven't heard anything negative, of the footprint we're in right now. And so you must be, if people are coming to you and say, "Hey, I want to take more risk," and you don't believe there should, you don't sugarcoat it, do you? You just say, "Well, here's my
No.
advice: take it or leave it." Right?
No. Hey, I'm human. I'm a sinner just like anyone else. I've made mistakes in the past, and one of the mistakes I've made was a crypto fund that went belly up. It was completely fraudulent, unbeknown to me. I was an investor in it as well, and I got labeled Bernie Madoff. I got labeled, all these curse words, and people lawyered up. And what I did was I actually personally went in my pocket and settled with clients that I actually personally hurt financially. I took responsibility, and it's actually my strong story. It's my message, and what I bring to the table now is ability just to be authentic with clients. I don't sugarcoat anything. I've already been through the worst. I've been through rock bottom, and it's great to just be real with clients. It's great to just let them know, hey, let's get a second opinion. Do you know what your fees are? Do you know what you're actually investing in? If you're emotional about your investments, that means you got too much money in that red money bucket. We need to take some off the table. And so there's a lot of things to talk about. We can only do it if they give us a call or visit us at AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com. And if they do, Mike, I'll give them a free book that I wrote called America First Retirement Plan book. And it took me about a year to write it, but it talks about the emotions. It talks about funding other countries other than America, how Wall Street's rigged against us. Just pretty much my personal story and testimony of 20 years of experience in one little book. But if they give us a call, I'll ship it out to them. I only have a few hundred copies left. And I think I spent like $15,000 just to give the book away. And I think I'm at like my last box. I don't know how many fits in a box, 300 or 400, but I'm giving them to everyone as a gift. So,
well, let's do that, you guys. Call 833-813-3446. Do it right now. Get the free book. You guys, you have nothing to lose, everything to gain. I'm telling you. Carlos is amazing, and I love the story. Like, everyone knows my story. I can't change my past. I only corrected it, and you learn from it, and you move on. It makes you better, stronger, and God bless you, Carlos, for that. Like you say, I've told everybody, if I wouldn't have had with my pillow 2012, and this is another long story, everybody, I wouldn't have made it through to where my pillow would be, even though there's no way it would have been able to withstand and myself these last 4.5 years of attacks if I wouldn't have had that base of strength from coming out of 2012, or even going back to my addiction days when I was a crack cocaine addict. But you can either look back or you can look forward and use your past for strength. And but what you've learned over the last 20 years, Carlos, everybody needs to use that expertise, everybody. And I don't endorse just anybody or anything. Carlos is the best. And he's so go to AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com, 833-813-3446. And Carlos, I can't wait to have you back and give us a report, everybody. On Lindell TV, we're publicly traded at MLMC on the OTC market. So what are you going to bring back for us as a report on what that looks like out there?
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a quick little video on market update on Lindell TV and share it with you.
Right on. That'll be awesome. Well, thank you, Carlos. We're blessed to have you on Lindell TV. Greatest sponsor, great guy, great friend, and the best financial advisor, you guys. I'm going to say it one more time. Call 833-813-3446. Get some consultation right now. Get the free book, or go to AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com. Doesn't mean you have to retire today. Doesn't mean you have to retire at all. It means you need to plan ahead and plan and spend your money or the resource you have, put them in places that align with our own values or with our values. I think that's great. When you added today, that's a big thing. I don't think people really realize that. I know I did. And Carlos, I'm going to tell you this: if when I recover financially, you're going to be able to put my money. Or at least the advice.
I appreciate that, brother. Well, I will take care of you like everyone else, my friend.
Right on. Well, thank you, Carlos. God bless you, and we look forward to you. We're going to get we're probably going to have you on next week right away. We get when we get a weekly update, I think that'll be good. You know,
Yeah, I'm
weekly
more than happy to
update.
do it.
How does that sound? Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
sounds
have
great.
you on a little blip every week. So because things are changing, everybody, so fast. Like I say, you know, things can change in minutes. The world we're in right now.
Yes.
And so, but in prayers, everybody should be praying for the feds to lower the interest, right? That would be a prayer that we could send out.
Lower the interest rates and that our GDP number in August 22nd is a positive number, so we don't technically have a recession, because you hear the word recession and people just panic. So, and we don't need that right now.
Absolutely.
We really don't need that right now as a country.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. All right. Well, God bless you, Carlos. Until next week, we'll see you. Thank you so much from Lindell TV, and thank you for all of your people out there that are already using your service. And
Sure.
There's a pre-thank you to all the ones that are going to use your service, because they're going to get the best advice ever. Thank you, and God bless.
Lower the interest rates. We could all get behind that. Well, we are keeping an eye on the tropics. People all along the Gulf Coast are watching this system form. We have meteorologist Dana Melanson with a weather update next. Stay with us.
Swollen limbs, joint pain, inflammation, skin aging, and cognitive decline. These are just a few of the awful side effects that you can experience due to poor blood circulation. And popping ibuprofen is not a solution to the pain. It's only temporary relief, and it's only masking the true problem, which is inflammation. Researchers are saying to add this Antarctic super nutrient to your diet. I'm talking about omega-3 fatty acids, but not just any form of omegas. These particular omega-3 fatty acids are sourced from wild-caught krill. Has been shown to support healthy blood pressure, circulation, brain health, as well as reduce inflammation, swelling, and joint pain. For a limited time, you can grab Native Path Antarctic Krill Oil for up to 66% off plus free shipping. Just go to getkrill.com/Lindell right now to get your special offer. Whether it's being a weekend warrior or spending time with your family, feeling your best is the key to doing the things you love. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Nirvanta. It's a natural solution designed to help you stay active and live well naturally. Nirvanta is a topical blend of all natural essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, and a proprietary gold standard plant stock extract. It's perfect for your hands, feet, knees, back, or anywhere else that needs a little extra care. Use Nirvanta proactively as part of your daily maintenance routine, and you're guaranteed you're going to feel the difference. Simply massage Nirvanta in for at least 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day to get the best results. And if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back. No questions asked. There's simply no risk and no reason not to try Nirvanta today. Right now, you get 15% off with code Lindell exclusively at nirvantahealth.com. So stop reaching out for that medicine cabinet. Get Nirvanta instead and experience the difference. Go to nirvantahealth.com. Use code Lindell to get 15% off today. Nirvanta Health. Live well naturally.
We're continuing to monitor weather conditions on the Gulf Coast. A storm seems to be brewing, as you can see. Let's check in with meteorologist Dana Melanson.
Thanks so much, Vanessa. Yeah, we're really keeping an eye on a broad area of low pressure that's actually moving westward across the Florida Panhandle between Tallahassee and Panama City. The shower activity that's associated with at least the northern Gulf Coast. And let me tighten up on the view there so we can see a lot better position here when we go to our regional south. The shower activity is very disorganized, and we talked about this pretty much in detail yesterday about high pressure. High pressure giving us stability. When we have stability, the showers and thunderstorms are unorganized. So that being a good thing. Now, with that said, high pressure that's on top of us now will eventually retrograde off toward the north and east. And as it does that, it's going to allow these showers to have a more conducive atmosphere to develop into something tropical. And that's certainly what the National Hurricane Center is thinking. This is the latest estimates on the INVEST system. We have still a 40% probability of it becoming tropical in nature during the next 48 hours. Same in the next 7 days. Now, when we put the spaghetti models on it, they're all still in agreement. This time, the runs have the storm mainly focused on central Louisiana and southeast Louisiana, which obviously not the better scenarios for New Orleans. We're still expecting somewhere between 2 to 6 inches of rain associated with this storm, and some of those 2 inches of rain could make it as far as central Texas. So we'll certainly be keeping our eye on it very closely and certainly keeping you updated as well. Vanessa?
Thank you, Dana. We'll continue to monitor and we'll keep everyone at home posted right here on Spin Room this week. And as we close out the show today, our Bible verse of the day comes from the book of Genesis. You all know this one. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. May the light of the world shine on all of you this afternoon. And that'll do it for us here today on Spin Room. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Steve Bannon's War Room is next. You're watching Lindell TV.